This is how to work out when your motivation is gone. 5, 6, 7, 8. But Natalie, I've tried it all. Wrong. You have not. Maybe you'll find these tips and tricks helpful. Maybe you will not. But I work out almost every day of the week, and it's not because I have some iron will. Let me just tell you that. It's a little bit because I have an incurable neurological disease, which can be motivating. But usually it's because I'm doing one of these tricks that just gets me there. Enjoy. Let's talk about this past Monday. I was angry. Something about having a chronic illness is infuriating. So I was having a little rage problem. I had booked a workout class, but to me that does nothing. The threat of financial loss or like not keeping a commitment, don't care about that. I will not keep that commitment. I will lose that money. That is not a motivating factor for me. There is a concept called highway hypnosis. You can Google it, but I'm sure you felt it, where you're in your car and you're driving, and then all of a sudden it's 30 minutes later and you've arrived to your destination. How did you get there? Why don't you remember getting there? What happened during that time between you getting in the car and arriving at your destination? And most importantly, how did your body just keep doing what it needed to do to get you to that destination without you being aware? This past Monday, I pretty much set my body on autopilot. I said, the one thing I'm going to commit to is putting my body in this workout class. I basically just zoned out because I did not want to mentally participate in that workout. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is not the right way to live. This is not being mindful. It's not being grateful. It's not being joyful. You're not being joyful. You're not being grateful. Be more grateful. At least for me, I cannot hold myself to the expectation that every day I am achieving the mental wellness that I strive to achieve. On this day, that was just not happening. I knew I couldn't be in serenity, so I went to my workout in rage. I went to the workout class. My body took over. I was so distracted by how angry I was that I even have this disease, blah, blah, blah. Before I knew it, the class was over. I do just want to take a moment here to clarify. This isn't about disconnecting from your life. It's more about recognizing your body's capacity to act, to do things, even if your mind isn't fully engaged. On those hard days when I just don't have the mental fortitude, I don't have the motivation, I don't have that mental push to go exercise, it can really help to stop overthinking and just kind of let my body take over. I feel like there's a real benefit to shifting my focus from mental resistance into physical action. When I get my body to a place where exercise happens, like a gym, a class, the sidewalk, the park, a basketball court, anywhere like that, I can just kind of let go of the struggle in my head and let my body take over. My second tip is to do something fun, but I don't mean like bustin' booty beats cycle class. No. I mean something fun, something you used to do when you were a kid, like play catch or play tag, or for me, play tennis. I actually grew up playing tennis. I've played it all my life. I haven't played it for about 5 or 6 years. This past Tuesday, I was so tired and I was hella sore. I didn't want to go to the gym. I didn't want to go on a walk. I didn't want to go to yoga. I didn't want to do any of the things that I usually do for exercise, but tennis sounded fun. What I'm really talking about here is just playing, embracing your inner child, doing those things you did when you were a kid that made you feel really free. Things like hula hooping, jumping rope, riding your bike, roller skating. If you have access to a trampoline or a sport court, like a public basketball court, anything that feels like playing, it does something bigger than going to the gym. It just feels so awesome and it's so fun. Okay, so say having fun or disassociating isn't cutting it. Just get a new identity. Bear with me here. This tip actually comes straight from a book called Atomic Habits. One of my big takeaways from that book is A way to develop a habit or like accomplish a goal is to assume it as part of your identity. For example, say you're trying to quit smoking, but it feels impossible, too lofty of a goal. Instead of thinking of yourself as someone who is trying to quit smoking, you think of yourself as someone who doesn't smoke. So you skip ahead to the identity of yourself that is incorporating this goal, habit, whatever. So I rode my bike Sunday, I did a workout class Monday, I played tennis Tuesday. Come Wednesday, I'm struggling. But like every weekday morning, I'm like, heck yeah, I'm gonna work out after work. A full 12 hours later, for sure I'm gonna do that. So I scheduled myself for a little yoga class. Even as I was clicking book, I knew that by the end of the day, your girl was simply not gonna do that. So I played a little game with myself throughout the day where I just kept thinking to myself, like, I really am such a yoga person. I referred to myself as like a person who does yoga all the time, every day. Even though that's not true. I don't do yoga every day. I do it maybe once a week. And of course, when I got home, I got right in bed and I took a nap. But then I have yoga in 15 minutes and I'm gonna go. And the reason I'm gonna go is because I am a yogi. I love yoga. I do yoga morning, noon, and night. I am a yoga person. I'm a yoga girly, okay? One thing about me, I do yoga. I'm gonna get dressed. That's the first thing you gotta do when you're a yogi queen like I am. Literally, like me not going to yoga? Never heard of that? That's crazy. That's just crazy. Like, that would be crazy for me to do that. I ended up really enjoying this yoga class. For me, showing up is the victory. Like, truly, however much exercise I do, the intensity, how much I give, it really doesn't matter to me. That the fact that I'm in attendance is, for me, like the win of the day. That is my third tip, which is to create a fun little identity around the exercise you want to do. Say you really want to get into weightlifting, but you don't have any motivation. That's okay. You don't need motivation because you're already someone who lifts weights today, right now. Right now, in this moment, you are a weightlifting champion. You didn't know that? You don't see those ribbons on your wall? Come on now. I know it sounds kind of silly and kind of make-believe. I will say, when you make the mental shift of identifying as someone who does X, Y, and Z, it can be pretty powerful. So the point of these tips really is to give you evidence for the next time you don't feel motivated. Since I got diagnosed with Parkinson's in 2024, I've really been on this journey of rigorous exercise multiple times a week. And what I found is the more evidence I gather of my ability to do something, even when I have no motivation, the more likely I am to do it the next time I have no motivation. So as you move throughout the week or the month or the year, every time you go to the gym, every time you do that run, even if you don't feel like it, is more evidence that next time you can do it again. As you build that evidence for your ability to work out without motivation, the less you'll care about whether or not you're motivated to or not. It's surprisingly easy for our bodies to do hard things, whether we really want to do them or not. You just have to learn how to access that sort of mentality, I guess. So for me, surrendering to my body and letting my body do what I know it can do, regardless of how my mental state is, seeking out activities that feel like play, and incorporating the identity of a person who does X, Y, and Z workout has been such a game changer for me in this process of becoming someone who works out all the time. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was certainly fun to make. I do want to end it by saying I worked out 5 out of the 7 days this last week, and 2 of those days I rested. Another part of a sustainable workout routine is giving yourself grace and understanding. If you burn out, if you tear something, if you get too sore, if you don't honor your body by letting it rest, that's not going to help you keep working out anyway. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.